Hi everybody, welcome back. This week we are studying the letter J for jar. J sounds like j, j. This is the uppercase, this is the lowercase. And we are also studying the sight word jump, which happens to be the name of our school, Jump, right? So jump is spelled J-U-M-P. And the vowel in jump is the U, which sounds like right? Jump. So the U, the short U sound is So today I would like to review our vowels because vowels are super important in reading and in writing. Why is that? Because every single word in the English language must have a vowel. So they're important and there are only 5 of them. What are the vowels? The vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. So there's really a possible 6th one, but we have 5 concrete vowels, A, E, I, O, and U. So let's go over the short vowel sounds of all of them, okay? The long vowel sounds are easier because it's the long vowel sound is the name of the letter. So the long vowel sound for A is A, like acorn, all right? So those are easier to remember. The short vowel sounds get a little bit confusing, especially if you're in the Spanish program, because in English, the vowel sounds one way, but in Spanish, it sounds a different way, okay? It is very confusing, but you do get used to it. And eventually, if you're confused about it now, eventually you won't be, don't worry, okay? So the short sound for A is A, like apple. The short sound for E is E, like elephant. The short sound of I is I, like igloo. The short sound for O is A, like octopus. And the short sound for U is like umbrella. All right. And a while back, a few weeks ago, maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago, we sent these home for you guys. They weren't quite this big. This is more poster size, but we sent little strips home with you guys. The same thing. Look just like this, the same A with the apple and the acorn for all of the vowels. So you may have those somewhere so that you can practice them and remember them. All right, so today we are going to read a book, not for story time, but we're going to read it during class. It's a short book together called Jeff and Jen Jump. Okay, because we have, again, our sight word, jump. Jeff and Jen jump, and Jeff, Jan, and jump all begin with the letter J. So let's put Jen on the board. What vowel do you think is in Jen's name? J, E. E is E. Jen. Ends with N. Jen. Okay? So we have Jen, Jeff, and Jen jump. Now, we've talked a lot about vowel sounds, and we've also talked a lot about beginning sounds and some about ending sounds as well. So why don't we see what other words we can make with the word Jen? So let's do what we always do. Let's get rid of the J and let's replace it with a B. What sound does B make? B. So now we have B-N, Ben. Ben is the name of a boy or a man. What about if we put a D in front? We get D-N, den. Den. Some people call their living room a den. Or it's where, let's say, Fox would build a little home, shelter would be a den. Okay, let's put an H in front and we get N, hen. Hen. We read Little Red Hen a few weeks ago. What if we put the J back, we get, who remembers, Jen. If we put an M in front, M sounds like we get men. No matter how much I try to keep this straight, it looks crooked. So we get men. If I take the M away and put a P in front, what sound does P make? P, pen. Pen, like a pen that you would write with, or a pig pen. What about a T? T sounds like t, t, N, 10, the number 10. And one last one, last week's letter, Z, sounds like Z. So if we put that before we get Zen, Zen means to be nice and peaceful. I hope you're all very Zen today. Let's put Jen, the J back, so that we get Jen. Now let's talk about our vowels a tiny bit. What can I do with this? What if I take the vowel out of the middle? Jen, and I change the for the E for an A. Now I get Jan. Jan, because this, you guys know this, A-N spells An, right? We did these last week. And so now we get Jan, and you will see Jan's name in the book about Jeff and Jen too. We'll see Jan. Now what if I change the A for an O? What sound does the short O sounds like? Ah, like octopus. So now we get, instead of Jen, we have John, right? And you know this word also, on. On, you get John, okay? Now some people spell John J-O-N, some spell it J-O-H-N. It's usually with an H, but I do know people that spell John this way, or short for Jonathan. Okay, so those are some of the beginning sounds we went over, and we also changed the middle vowel sound. All right, so let's read our book now, Jeff and Jen Jump. And I actually am going to show you one more thing. I'm cramming a lot in the last week. I'm going to show you one more thing. It's a word that some of you may know. We haven't studied it in here. To be honest with you, it's a kindergarten sight word, but I wish it were a pre-K4 sight word because it's used so frequently. And I bet some of you already know this word. It's L-I-K-E. Who knows what word that is? L-I-K-E spells like. Like. And the reason I want you to know this is because you're going to see the word like in almost every page in this book. Okay, so L-I-K-E spells like. All right, let's get to our book. Okay, everybody, we are going to read Jeff and Jen Jump. Read with letter J. So you can find this in your ABC Mouse account if you would like to read this on your own later. And try to read along with me because you will find that you know many of these words, almost all of them. Jeff and Jen Jump. Read with letter J. Here is Jim. Jim likes red jam. Jim likes red jam in jars. Here is Jack. Jack likes big jets. Jack likes to ride in a big jet. Here are Jeff and Jan. Jeff and Jan like to jump. Jeff and Jan like to jump with Jen. Here are Jake and Jane. Jake and Jane like to jog. Jake and Jane like to jog with Jake's dog. The end. All right, so were you able to recognize a lot of the words in that book? I bet you were. So you can always go back if you want later, and a good idea is to go back to the book part, put me on mute, and then try to read it yourself. And you can always pause it If you need an adult to help you, just ask them to show you how, but you can pause it on each screen and see if you can read the words yourself. Okay? Don't forget to put me on mute or I'll be reading it to you. All right, so we learned another new word today very quickly, but you learned the word like, at least you've seen it now. We reviewed the vowel sounds, we reviewed the beginning sounds, changing the beginning sounds of words, right? We use the EN ending, the N word family. And we also reviewed changing the middle vowel sound out in CVC, which means consonant, vowel, consonant, words, and we read a book together. So now it is time for story time. So everybody join me in the next link for story time. Today we are going to be reading a story called Giraffes Can't Dance. Now here's the tricky thing. You know this letter, our letter of the week, J, sounds like J. Well, giraffe actually doesn't start with the letter J. It starts with the letter G, because the letter G can make two sounds, hard G and a soft G. Okay, the hard G sounds like G, G, like gum. And the soft one sounds like J, like George, and giraffe. So giraffe actually starts with the letter G. It's similar to, you know how C and K both sound like K, K, and you have to decide which one it is? Well, it's the same thing with G and J. The J sound can be either one, and we just have to decide, okay? So join me for Giraffes Can't Dance. And I do want to show you what you'll be doing today. Today you will be doing on your own work with the sight word jump. So up here you need to find the sight word jump and circle it every time you find it. And then down here you need to practice writing the sight word jump. You will trace and then write on your own. And then after that, you are going to decide, like we did together in class, what is the middle vowel sound. So for instance, this is going to be zip. You have to decide what makes the I sound and fill it in. Bat, fox, web, and bus. You need to listen for the middle vowel sound. And there are 2 pages like that. We also have here gum, and see here, this one gum starts with G, it starts with a G, G sound, as opposed to giraffe, which starts with the G, but sounds like J. So we have gum, wig, man, hot, and net. All right, so everybody enjoy your work as much as you can and meet me back here for story time for Giraffes Can't Dance, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.